Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie, and I hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. We have begun the Murders at Karlov Manor kind of reveal season, spoiler season, exciting time for a new Magic the Gathering set. Lots of new cards spoiled yesterday, and I'm sure they will continue to come in all throughout the week, and we will discuss stuff on the podcast on Friday night as well, or Friday morning. But I wanted to talk about the set. I think I want to make some comments about it as people get excited about it and just talk to you about my thoughts throughout the week. So we'll get into that. We're not going to get into like power level of individual cards and is this going to be played in Modern. That's not what we're about on this channel. We're going to talk about more like, is this going to help sell the set? Will people be excited about this set? Will it work in limited play? That kind of thing. What will the excitement level be for your average consumer? Because as a store owner, that's kind of the perspective that I'm really interested in. So lots of different spoilers, lots of different things. It's cool to see people interested in our Discord server starting to talk about stuff. I do have pre-orders up at gamegrove.gg. You can click there and search for what you want. But we do have all that stuff, and it's nice to see people at spoiler season. You start seeing orders come through because people get excited about some stuff. So I'm going to use Mythic Spoiler. We're going to go through some of the stuff. The first and foremost thing, though, that I think people get most excited about is the commander decks. And I want to go ahead and say this. Across the board on this set, I think that this feels like a very thematic set that is also a little bit underpowered. And that's my biggest concern for this set right now is it just underpowered? The theming of it seems really cool. I think they've really leaned into this idea of like a murder mystery atmosphere. And I think that can be a really cool plane and a really cool experience for Magic the Gathering players. But the power level across the board so far, okay, right? Like so far, doesn't seem as powerful as maybe like Lost Caverns looked like, or some of the other stuff that we've seen in the past. So, but that being said, this commander set, these four commanders seem like they might play really, really, really well with one another. I picked out two of them that I thought were kind of cooler than the other two, just because I don't want to get into everything on this video. But I really like this Morska Undersea Sleuth. No maximum hand size off the rip is pretty cool, as long as your commander is out. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, you get to investigate, which allows you to have some stuff to draw cards. And then whenever you do draw your second card on each turn, you get to put 2 1/1 counters on Morska. And that's on each turn. So if you're able to manipulate your mana and your hand size and do things to untap at the end of each turn, all the stuff that, these colors, the green, the white, the blues like to do, you can actually utilize this every turn. You can drop Morska out and you can, by turn 4 or 5 or whatever, you can have a pretty big commander to deal some commander damage. And then of course, you do have access to unblockable in those colors as well. So this is going to be a fun one that I think a lot of people might build just to kind of be able to Voltron it out and put all of the commander damage onto one opponent. And then the no maximum hand size. It's just fun. Drawing cards, doing stuff is fun for Magic players. And so whenever a commander deck comes out, I like to ask this question, like, will people enjoy playing that? Will this be a fun commander deck for people to play? The power level kind of is what it is, right? Like a lot of times your power level is locked into whatever color you're in anyway. But the real question that people ask when they're ordering or buying decks, in my opinion, is it going to be fun to play? Will I get to do stuff? And I think this commander right here, you'll get to do lots of things, and that's really exciting. The second one I really liked of the 4 was Cost Eye of the Glade. Now I like this. Whenever a creature you control that was turned face up this turn deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card, and then you can tap it to turn target face down attacking creature you control face up. Now, we did see a face down deck before in Kadena Slinking Sorcerer. This is in mostly different colors, just sharing the green, I believe. Yeah. But we did see this before, and I'm not sure that the Sultai one really did very well. Recently, it's kind of on a little bit of a spike. I'm not sure if there's any cards in this deck. That'd be a good thing to look up to see if there's any cards in this deck that may fare well for the new commander. You might see some stuff spiking. But I don't know. Again, card draw on your commander, very, very strong. You're going to have a lot of interaction here. You're going to be doing stuff. Again, I go back to the idea that it's just going to be fun to play. And I think across the board, these 4 commanders are going to be a really cool experience. And this is something we talk about on the podcast a lot. You can have powerful commanders, you can have underpower commanders. The biggest question from a store perspective and from, in my opinion, from a set perspective, is do the 4 decks fit well together? And does buying the 4 decks at once, playing them in a pod with your friends, does that create a fun and interesting environment? Because if you can create a fun and interesting environment around a set, it kind of gives people a lot of attitude of success with the set, and they enjoy it. And then they go back and they buy the play boosters, they buy the collector boosters, just to get things to upgrade the deck that they had fun playing. I think a lot of times we focus so much on the monetary side of things that we forget that the biggest contributor to the monetary side of things is, are people having fun? Are they enjoying the set? Are they enjoying the cards? And so it looks like this will be a good one. You know, one of the other things, all the commanders are 4 costs or less. So again, you're going to get to do lots of stuff when you play these decks, and that's a big win. So I like the commander decks. I wanted to start off there. And then I wanted to get into these surveil lands. This is being a lot of conversation on the interwebs about these. They do enter tapped, but they are searchable. They are fetchable with your fetch lands, because they are island, swamp, swamp mountain. You know, they are targeted by those. So these are another target for fetch lands, which is really good, really strong. You may see some of these popping up individually in a couple of decks throughout. You know, obviously commander. You may see even some modern decks where you're utilizing the graveyard a lot, because you get to surveil on the enter. And so I think some of these, like the forest, the gruel, the the Demir, the things that the colors already want to interact with the graveyard, these are going to be pretty good cards for those decks. I think you're going to start seeing, you know, your elegant parlor, right? Your Boros colors that don't have a lot of graveyard interactions. They're not going to see as much play. But individually, some of these are going to be pretty cool and pretty useful in your decks, and I think that's a good win. And I love the theme and the design that Magic has, that they can put a tap land in. There's like 3 elements for a Magic the Gathering tap land, where you can lower or greater its power level. You can have it enter tapped. You can give it an ability, and there's an unlimited amount of abilities that you can give in Magic the Gathering for ETB effects. And then you can also have it fetchable or not fetchable. So this is pretty cool. I think you're getting 2 of the 3 here for a lot of the colors, where 2 of the 3 things are pretty good in your deck. It's that enter battlefield tapped that I think is going to really question, are these going to see any play? But they are good, you know, budget upgrades, especially for a commander deck in the colors that utilize the graveyard, and definitely will provide some excitement and will be cool cards to open as well. I don't see these being, you know, $4 or $5 shockland, $10 prices. I really think these will be in the $1 to $2, maybe even some bulk rare, depending on the color. But really cool cards regardless, and exciting to see. The other thing I wanted to talk about, there's some good cards. I think these ones, all the regular cards so far, the power level just seems pretty low. You've got the Wolf deck that a lot of people are talking about this one right now. Voyager, Jaws of the Conclave. You know, you're going to see a lot of Wolves spike and Elves spike as a result of this kind of thing. You know, a 5-cost legendary creature wolf, that's gonna create a lot of decks. And that's going to be cool. There's going to be stuff like that, but the power level across the board doesn't seem super strong to me. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section if I'm wrong. But I think we'll see more come out over the next couple days that'll increase the excitement for people. You do have like affinity for planeswalkers, some cool stuff that can be used. Yeah, but all right, the last thing I wanted to talk about from a store owning perspective, and from the perspective of will this set sell well, I was a little surprised that this special guest slot is so weak so far. Now, we have 10 cards. I believe the special guest slot will grow from those 10 cards. Maybe it's 30. I think that's what it is. It's 30. So we should get another, 20 cards here. And this looks like pretty much the back half of the slots. But only one of these cards is worth more than $4, and that is Show and Tell. And I picked that up. Show and Tell, worth about $30. Yeah, maybe $25 on the non-direct, right? Yeah, like $25. Only one reprinting, and not in a standard set, right? Like you had in Conspiracy Take the Crown, which was like a more expensive card or set. So only one reprint on Show and Tell. I don't see Show and Tell kind of holding up a huge premium. Maybe it turns into a $15 card, something like that. The rest of the cards in the special guest slot, though, not that expensive. And, you know, we saw, it wasn't Mana Crypt, I think, or Mana Vault. I think it was Mana Crypt. In Lost Caverns of Ixalan, in this slot, you saw some really, really great cards in this slot. So I hope we see some increased value inside of this special guest slot. There is rumors that Edgar Markov is going to be in there. I don't know. I'm not convinced on that. It is Karlov's Manor, not Markov's Manor. And I don't know. I don't know that it fits. It fit way more in previous standard sets. You do have like one vampire in here. So I guess you do have some vampires in the set. But I'm not sure it fits. We'll see if they do put that in. That will certainly generate a lot of excitement for the set because, you know, Edgar Markov is a $140 card right now. So that'll give some potential if they do end up. I think it would be in the special guest slot is where it would end up being. But we'll see. Anyway, it just kind of feels a little bit lackluster to me at this point. But let me know what you guys are excited about in Adventures at Murders at Karlov Manor. Wow, I butchered that. Let me know what you're excited about in the comment section. And yeah, if you want to join the Discord server, head on over to KitchenTableTCG.com. You can discuss that stuff here. And let me know what card I missed that you are excited about in the comment section. Have a great day. Be kind to the people around you. We'll talk to you again next video.